So welcome again to tonight's session, and we are going to be looking at our data that we have prepared in the form of query. So this is the South-South query. And for those who did not start with us from the beginning, we developed this from scratch. And then we had 3 states, and each state had their staff with the agenda given, and each of them had sales on a particular date. And then these were the sales, these are the dates. So we brought all the 3 together and then created a power query for the South-South team. So tonight we are going to use PivotTable to do our analysis and at the same time visualize it. And we're also going to create a dashboard from this. The time that we have is 1 hour, but I'm going to, wherever we are unable to, if we are not able to cover everything, we shall continue next week. So we have 2 more weeks after today. No, 1 more week. So we have Tuesday and Thursday next week to conclude this Excel 25-2. Okay, so it's my belief that the foundation that we'll be laying will help us do a lot on our own. Okay, so in our previous video, we introduced the pivot table, and then we showed us how to create a pivot table from scratch. So we are going ahead to do that right now. Under my ribbon, and in the ribbon, I have my insert tab. So I am clicking the pivot table, and it's already selected because this is a table. So I need to search around to be sure that, yes, all my tables are covered. The range of my data are covered. Now, I'm going to drop it on a new worksheet, which is the selection by default. So I'm going ahead to click OK. The moment I click this OK, a new sheet will be inserted between sheet 6 and South-South query. So there we go. So let's name this South-South data sheet. Okay, so because this is a table, each one we create, we are going to be getting the name so that it can be easy for us to make references. And when we are connecting our reports, we will see what and what we are connecting. So here, let's run the states. Of course, there are 3 states. And then let's run the sales. So these were the total sales for each of the states. So the next thing we are going to do is what form of analysis do we want to run? Let's see. We want to look at individual states, how they performed, who performed better. So in that case, we are going to remove this state here. Let's put it on that filter, and then let's bring our staff here. So what this means is this is the entire workforce for the organization. Then here we have the states. So I'm going to create this, and then I'll OK this, so that if I select any state, say I want to select Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom will display here. Then the states, sorry, the staff under each will display here. Now, like I said, we are going to run the analysis, the visualization, and the dashboard at the same time. Here, we have created the first pivot table, and let's give it a name. Let's give it, let's say this is the team or the organization, organ table. So we know that this is the entire organization table. Now I'm going to create a sheet. I'm going to insert a sheet here, which we are going to use as our dashboard. So let me just insert new one here. And let's say this is South-South dashboard. Then, of course, when we talk about dashboard, we are just talking about a summary of reports appearing on a page. Just like you are driving a car, on your dashboard, what you see on your dashboard is a summary of what is happening at the various components of the vehicle. So I am going to come under here, under my view. I want to remove these lines, this grid line. So I uncheck this. And let's see if we can capture some few things from here. We may not need this, all these columns. We may not need it. And those are the headers. So we remove the headers. All right, so this is where we'll be dropping our chart. Now let's go back to the data sheet. I am going to insert a pivot chart right now. So I'm coming to my insert. Here is my pivot chart. And then it's going to give us suggestions regarding the data that we have, the type of charts. In our comprehensive training, we shared, we'll always treat different types of data and their suggested graphs or charts that are ideal. There are several types of charts, like you can see here. We have column, we have line, pie, bar, area, and so on and so forth. But it's not in all data sets that you can use, let's say, column or line chart. There are data that are best described by line, others are best described by pie chart, and so on and so forth. So we may not delve into that in this lecture. So we are just going to get what we know is ideal for our situation and then run with it. So let's go ahead and click OK. So this comes up here right now. And if you look at this, this is for Akwa Ibom State. This is for Akwa Ibom State. So we want this to be able to show Akwa Ibom, and then whenever we change it, it will also change with a name dynamically. Now we also need to clean up this chart. There are a few things that we don't need. Okay, so one of them is this header fields. I'm going to remove them. I'll right click on any one of them, and I'm going to hide all the field buttons. Okay, so this is our title. I'm going to link this title. I'm going to link it to whatever that is here. so that whenever we select a state, it will appear here. So this is the second thing that we are doing on this chart after removing or hiding those buttons. So I'm clicking here. I'm going ahead to click inside the formula bar. Because I want to link it, I don't want to type directly on the title. I want it to pick whatever is here. So I'm going to say equals B, look at this B2, sorry, B1 is equals to B1. Sorry. Let's say this is equal to this. So we have this picking data from here. Now, if I come over here and choose Bayelsa, this should be able to change to Bayelsa and then also display Bayelsa team and their report and their sales. If I also choose this Rivers, it should be able to tell me this. So I'm going to copy this. Let me take it to the dashboard. I paste it here. For me, sometimes, and in most cases, I like to remove this, this vertical primary axis and then also remove these lines. So I'm going ahead to click here. This is my axis, and I'm going to uncheck the primary vertical axis. And at the same time, I'm unchecking grid lines. But I need to show people what these values are. So I need to go to my data label. If this is right, fine, I choose this. So this is the first chart that we have created. Now, what is this sales? What is this data all about? We can see names here. We can see figures, and we can see a state. So we can actually create the name of this report. So this is sales reports for so and so states. I also want to be able to, there are a good number of things we can do here. So let me remove this since we are done with that. There are a good number of things we can do there. We can concatenate our reports so that it contains more than just one word. So now let's see, let's go back here. So I'm going to write sales reports. So here, I'm just going to write something. Let me concatenate this. So this is this. And this. So here, I have concatenated reverse sales reports. So if I choose here, Bayelsa now, I'm going to change Bayelsa sales reports. So what I can also do is I can now link this one instead of the previous one, link it to this, and it goes. So we are not going to go deep. I have just done some few things, and I'm going to give us time to do the same, and then we'll come back and discuss. So far, we have inserted our charts. we have inserted a dashboard, and then we have created a filter here for the states. One more thing that we need to do is to come over and put a slicer. A slicer is a filter. It will be easy for us when we are working on a dashboard. We'll just be changing those filters rather than going back to the data set or the table, the pivot table, and then changing the variables or the series. So what I'm going to do now is I'm coming under my pivot. I'm coming over under my pivot chart. I'm going to get this slicer. What we need to be changing here is the state. So I'm going to click state. At least for now, let's go with this. So part of what we need to do on our dashboard is to find where we can place this. So let's say we have this. We can also do this. Let's divide this into 3 columns because we have 3 states. So over here, still right under slicer options, we have columns here. So let's make it 3. And then we have the 3 states on this. So if I want to talk about Akwa Ibom state sales, I click here. This also changes. Correspondingly also, this change and their respective values. The same thing here, the same thing here. So at this point, I'm going to pause and then ask if there are questions. And then we'll go ahead and practice it on our own. And then we'll be back after 10 minutes. So are there questions? Does anyone have questions? No hand raised. Okay, so Tato, you want to speak?
No.
Okay, Chidim. Okay, Tato, yes, go ahead.
No, I don't want to speak. I'm clear.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Okay, Chidima, your hand is up. Kindly go ahead, unmute and speak.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. Sorry, I joined late, and this is my first time I'm joining. I don't know. I try to listen carefully what you were explaining. Okay, now you said we should try and do that, repeat what you just did, or you were teaching us. And I opened my Excel, and some of the things I'm seeing in your Excel, I can't see it in mine. So I can't do exactly what you did.
Okay, may I know the version of Office you are using?
Uh-oh.
Okay. You are working with your laptop, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is it that you saw here that you didn't see in your own?
Okay. The things I can see in my own is if you check out the after file, home, insert, page layout, formula, data, review, then after my own your review is developer, Cool Tools or whatever, Cool Tools Plus.
Okay,
the mine there is nothing like that. All my own stopped at help. After view is help.
Okay.
Every other thing I can't see
Okay.
them. Even the power pivot.
Okay. So there's nothing wrong. This developer is optional. If you want to use it, you can activate it from the back end. This cool tool is an add-on that I bought because of what I do. So you may not see it. It goes with this also. This is the
Okay.
same add-on from another organization. Pivot, Power Pivot is also in almost all the versions. You also need to activate it if you want to use it from the back end. So there's nothing different. Yes. I was hoping you were going to say you don't have the data sheet, this file, since this is your first time of joining. Do you have this Excel 25
No,
to scenario 2 data structure? You don't
no,
have it.
no,
Are
I
you in the
don't.
WhatsApp group?
Yes.
Okay, I think I shared that, except if you
Yes, I
join.
am.
Okay, so I'm going to drop that again so that
Okay.
those who don't have access to it, they can pick it up.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to drop it there.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so it looks there are no more. Okay, somebody's hand is up. Okay, Bello, that's it too. Good to have you.
Yes, good evening. Yes. Yes. I don't have this I'm not in the WhatsApp group, so I don't have what to practice on.
Okay, so I'm going to do two things right now. I'm going to
Okay.
drop the link to the WhatsApp group on the chat box so
Okay.
that those who are not there can quickly join, and then we
Okay.
will now share the file.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I've just dropped the link to join, and then I'm going to maybe just a few minutes, then I will drop that so that I don't have to drop it twice again. Okay, so Ayinde David, your hand is up. Go ahead.
Okay, good evening, sir. Thank you very much for this great opportunity for some of us to learn further on the importance and the usefulness of Excel. However, I don't know if it will be possible, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so I just want to, plead on behalf of not just me, and I'm sure there will be some other people who might be in the same position as I am due to the tight schedule and everything. I wouldn't know if it's possible for us to be able to have all the sections we have had so far, even up to the last section we will have. If by the end of the whole section, if we can have the whole video put together in one link, and if probably we can be able to download the link or watch on YouTube direct, so that it will be like a whole, or maybe just one file that contain all the episodes of all the different sections we have had so far, so that for number one to be able to, I know every after lecture you drop the link for each of the lecture, but I'm thinking if we can have, so that at least if peradventure anybody miss any of the steps again, we can go back to the whole video and watch from beginning. I mean, listen from the beginning to the end, and also practicalize in the process of listening. That's just my request, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, we usually do that when we conclude our trainings like this, because we have the emails of all participants. Number one, we share all the links via email. Number two, let me also use this as I speak on number two to encourage us all to subscribe to the channel and share. Once you subscribe, there are times that we even hold other sessions. You will get the notification. So like the next time that we'll be we are going to run a Power BI tutorial. You may not be aware. We will share the notification, but you may just miss out. But if you subscribe and then we share, you get the notification for all the videos that we are sharing. So in response to your request, yes, we are going to share it via email, and then we're also going to share it on the WhatsApp group, the days and the various topics that we treated. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. So a number of people have joined. So let me just go ahead and share that file now. So the one that you will be seeing is the one that I have inserted this, because that is the so 25. There's the answers. Okay. I missed that, sorry. It's 25. Okay, so I think I have dropped the right data. The right file is on the group now. So please let me know if you are able to download it. And then for tonight, because of the nature of this is foundational, officially we should close by 8:30. That's 1 hour. But I will be available to respond to anybody's question up to 9 o'clock. Okay. So anybody that wants to stay till 9 o'clock, that's fine. I'll be here to respond. Just for everyone to understand how to insert or create pivot table, how to bring down your data on the pivot table, and then insert your slicer. Yes, those basic things. And then, of course, the concatenate to add cell content into one. Then by next week, we are going to do more on constructing and connecting the reports. So please, if you are able to download it, just let us know so that we know we are making progress. Okay, so friends, we will just take a recap and then have all the steps that we took again. So at this point, I want to believe that we all got up to this point. But for the benefit of those who may not have joined us from the beginning, I need to start from this. Okay, so this is our pivot table. I mean, our table, which we created from.
Sorry,
We
the
can't
it's
see your
not showing
screen.
on the screen.
Oh, okay, sorry. I think it's still showing what we had at the breakout room. Sorry. It's showing now, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so sorry. Okay, so this is the table that we are working with. And what I'm going to do now is to create a new pivot table right here on this sheet. So I've clicked inside, and because this is a table, Excel recognizes that is a table. Sorry. So I'm coming to the insert pivot table right here. So I want to be sure that all my data set is selected. So like I said, I want to drop it on this worksheet. So I'm going to define the location. I have chosen to paste it on existing worksheet. So the next option is, where do I want it located? I want it located somewhere here or somewhere here. You know, it's always good to create space above. So I'm giving 2 spaces above, because basically there are times you may apply filter and then it will take up spaces above. So I okay this. So I'm going ahead to bring my staff. So these are all the staff. Then I am going to apply a filter on the state. So all I need to do is to click, hold, and drag the state field and drop it in the filter field. So you see the reason why I created space above when I was pasting the pivot table. So now the next thing is to open up here and enable this filter so that I can choose any of the states by ticking, or more than one. So if I click this one, it will show. But assuming I want to select 2, all I need to do is to open up this and then okay it. So this is Akwa Ibom. If I open it again, I can choose any one. So the next thing I want to do is to see their respective sales. So I come over here, click my sales, and drop it here. The reason I am clicking and dropping here is this is not a full-fledged pivot table training. Otherwise, I would have asked us, I would have taken time to explain what happens if you just check and then which ones come here, which one comes there, because we don't have that time. So this is the sales for each of the staff under Akwa Ibom State. The next thing we did was to insert a chart, and it's good for us to go through the pivot chart. So this is what has been offered to us. So we are good to go with this. Then the next thing is to try and do some cleanup. I'm going to clean this data area, the chart area rather. So these are the things I don't want. So I'm going to right click on them and I'm going to hide all the field buttons on this chart. And I try to explain that this, my vertical axis, is showing me the sales, the total sales. So if I want to leave it like this, it's fine. By choice, you can decide to either leave it like this so that somebody comes here and say, what is Helene's sales? Helene's sales is slightly above 5,000 because this is a guide. And then Peter is somewhere around 3,000. But for me, because I like to use data label, so I don't need this. So I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to remove these horizontal grid lines. So I come to this chart element. I'm going to uncheck the grid lines so that those horizontal lines, they go off. On my axis up here, I'm going to open this option and deselect the primary vertical so that those will go off. You will see that I have also recaptured some spaces. And then we are good to go. So coming to that point where that question was asked about linking this. So what I did was, this is a cell containing the state. I'm also going to write something here, which is sales report. I just typed this. So, but I want here to pick this and this joined together. And I say there is a function in Excel called concatenate. It's concatenate. So this is the name of the function. And so I'm going to use the concatenate now to join H1 and J1. And so what I did was to say equal sign, and I'm going to bring in the concatenate and activate it. So I'm going to say here, comma. So I'm going ahead to go straight and click this one and then I'll come back to it and do some work. If I click OK, see what has happened here. Akwa Ibom sales report. There should be a space between Akwa Ibom and sales report. I didn't put that space. So how do I put the space? The space should be put between H1, which is this, and J1. And this is the point here. So the space, because it's a text that I'm typing in, I'm going to bring it into a double quotation. When you are running formulas in Excel, the things that you are typing, the values that you are typing, you put them in double quotation. So I'm opening up the first double quotation. I'm going to press my space bar to introduce that space, and I'm going to close it. And then I have to confirm that I'm done with this entry by placing a comma. So I place a comma, and that goes it. So when I enter, the space is now created between Akwa Ibom and sales reports. So the next thing I did was to link this my chart title to pick up whatever value that is in L1. And how I do that is, having selected this, my title, chart title, I'm coming to my formula bar here to press equal sign. And I say, pick the value that you see here. That's all. I have linked my title chart to a cell content, and I enter. So this is what we have. So if I come over here and I decided to choose Bielsa and I OK it, this changes to Bielsa sales report, and automatically the chart title picks it up because it is linked to this. So this is what we picked, and then we drop on our dashboard. So the next thing I want to do is, when I'm making a presentation, I want to be able to click somewhere, click the states that I'm interested in to speak on. So rather than coming over to where my pivot table is and be selecting the different states, I want to use a slicer. And that slicer can be found here. I've chosen this, I've selected my chart. So this chart, pivot chart option is open, and here is my slicer. So I'm going ahead to click this slicer. It opens up. All the available slicers correspond to the various fields that you have here. So I am interested in the state, at least for now. This is what we want. Selecting state, I OK it. So you see that this is Bielsa here. So all I need to do is to rearrange this so that it can look beautiful. And in our earlier initial presentation, when we created the dashboard, we went ahead to increase this column to 3 so that they can come in each column. Since there are only 3 states, so this is what I did. It's just to beautify your dashboard, to make it look attractive. Here, I might decide to reduce this one and also reduce this one. So these are some of the things that we need to know how to do when we are working on constructing our dashboard. So now if I click Akwa Ibom is displaying with the report and the staff. Rivers, the same thing. So this is where we ended that first session. In the next tutorial, next week, Tuesday, we will look at the timeline, because it's also a filter. If I click here and come here, you see this timeline, and then connecting your reports, so that if you have different reports, as you click, all of them are updating dynamically. Okay, so this is where we ended, and we asked everyone to practice. So I'm pausing. I want to believe that a lot of us have been trying it out. and let's get your feedback. We still have about 15 minutes.